Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for April the 12th. I'm going to be pulling one card for each sign, and so if you know your sun sign, you can get a little bit of information from a quick reading like this. If you know your sun, moon, and rising, you can get a lot more, especially because if you know your rising, you know your houses. So each sign will be a house for you. So lots of information can come out of a reading when you interpret it like that. Let's see. Thank you guys very much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the channel with your feedback and the comments and your thumbs ups and your sharing of this video to others who may benefit from it. We are using the Vice Versa Tarot today, and I've decided with this deck I want to do a little experiment today. Are you guys game? Are you game for an experiment? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the card that ends up here and the card that ends up at the top of the deck for each sign. So we're going to have a little bit more of a complex meaning that shows up than what we normally do. So I'm kind of curious to see how this works out. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to look at Aries first. And so Aries, what we have showing up for you is the Star card in reverse, and I'm pulling these cards off the top of the deck just like I always do. I always pull and flip. So Aries, you've got the Star card in reverse, plus you also have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse as well. So this is kind of an interesting combination, Aries. This is telling me that there is somebody that you would like to give an opportunity to, or you would like to give a gift to, but you're not very hopeful that they would actually receive that gift or that opportunity today. You're thinking that, well, maybe, I don't know if you're thinking maybe I won't have a chance to actually offer this to them, or if you're thinking it's more that they would not receive it, but you're not very hopeful about that gift or opportunity being able to be passed along to the person you would like to offer it to or give it to. All right, so next up, let's look at Taurus. Okay, so Taurus, you guys have the Ace of Pentacles as well, but it's the other way. So it's right side up. Plus you have the back side of the Four of Coins, or the that side, I guess I should say. So Taurus, this talks about the idea of, oh, this is hilarious. This talks about the idea of somebody giving you a gift, but you're not really aware of it. This is interesting. So if you have an Aries trying to give you a gift or an opportunity, pay attention. I wonder if all these are going to be linked like this. Yeah, so the Ace of Pentacles for me does talk about receiving some type of gift or opportunity, something that you feel grateful for. But with that Four of Coins showing up on that side, first of all, you're holding back, so you're not being very open or very vulnerable to anybody around you. And so you're not seeing the gift or the opportunity because you're kind of holding back. You're keeping your distance. That's really interesting how those two ended up feeding together. Let's look at Gemini. Okay, so Geminis, you guys have the Four of Pentacles in reverse with the Ace of Swords. So this is really an interesting card because this tells me, Geminis, that you are expending a pretty decent amount of energy to pass along good information to other, well, is this passing along good information? Yes, I think it is, as I'm feeling into this card. So you're putting out a pretty decent amount of energy and effort, maybe even a pretty decent amount of finances to pass along energy or to pass along good information to other people. Maybe you're creating a class or trying to get a book published or something like that. But, this has a lot of ways of manifesting, but one way or another, putting out a lot of energy and effort, possibly a lot of finances, to pass along good information to other people. Information that would bring them some type of new understanding that would help them unlock some things in their life for them, open some opportunities up. That could be a teacher too. All right, so that's Gemini. Next up, let's look at Cancers. Okay, Cancers. Ace of Swords in reverse. This side and this side of the Chariot. Well, the Chariot is your card. The Chariot is your card. I think very much like Gemini, you are passing along information to other people as well, enlightening information. And I think you're doing it at lightning speed with that Chariot. So this is going to be something that is happening where this information is getting transmitted very quickly. So this could be by video, this could be email. You know, this is something where this information is traveling a long distance or to a lot of people in a very quick way. Huh. Interesting. Excuse me. All right, so yep, that was our first four. Next up, let's look at Leo. Okay, so Leo, you've got that side of the Chariot showing up in reverse. And what do we have here? The Knight of Swords, also that side in reverse. So Leo's, the first thing I'm going to tell you is I think that this is actually something that happened in the past, more so than something that has happened today. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. I think what's happened in the past, and I think you're going to be finding out about this today, but I think that there is something going on for a lot of you that is medical or has to do with your well-being in one way or the other, okay? And somebody gave you some bad information about that. They didn't look at the whole picture. And so they only had partial information. So if you had a medical issue, you may have been misdiagnosed, or maybe the wrong treatment was chosen, or maybe, I shouldn't say the wrong treatment, but not the best treatment might have been chosen in the past. And I think because this is coming up on the cards today, even though it's something that happened in the past, I think what's happening here, Leo, is that you're coming to that realization, or you're finding that out. Maybe one of your medical professionals is finding that out and bringing that to light, or maybe you're understanding that yourself. For those of you that this is not medical, which I'm going to say like 70 to 80% of you, I really do think that this is a medical type thing. For others of you, this can be coming up in different ways where you were given some type of bad advice and now you're realizing that, or you're finding that out, okay? And you're finding it out because the truth is actually coming out now, Leos. Now let's look at Virgo. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Okay, so we're starting off with the Knight of Swords showing up right side up. And we've got the Ace of Chalices in reverse. So Virgos, here's what I'm going to tell you. I think you guys today are going to be defending something that you have held dear to yourself for a very, very, very long time. So something that you have loved for a long time. This is not something that is new or recent that you're defending, but something that you're defending that you have, like I said, you have thought highly of, you have valued, you have loved for a long time. Okay, so that's Virgos. Next up, let's look at Libra. Okay, so Libra, Ace of Cups showing up in reverse, plus the Hermit in reverse. Okay, so Libras, you've got a situation where somebody is showing you their true colors and you're not so thrilled about them after you see their true colors. And with that Hermit, I think that you very easily could be turning your back on that person once you see their true colors, turning your back completely. This isn't an Eight of Cups card showing up with that Hermit in reverse, but I'm just getting a strong message off of that back being turned. And for me, the Hermit in reverse talks about after having thought of something for a while and sorted it out and processed it, then being able to come back out into the world and interact with people with a new set of priorities. I think what's going on here, Libra, is somebody has shown you their true colors. You're not very happy about it. You're turning your back on that person, but you're reaching out to other people who you have a higher opinion of. Okay? So leaving this person in the dust and turning and facing and involving other people in your life that when you've seen, I don't know if you've seen their true colors or not, but at least you're not disappointed with them like you are this person. Okay? And that was for Libra. Okay, now Scorpio. Scorpio, 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 what do we have? First of all, we've got the Hermit, and then we also have the backside of the Empress, or that side of the Empress in reverse. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Both of these cards talk to me about seclusion, thinking things over, trying to come to an understanding, or working on coming to an understanding about what's going on. Really being focused on trying to figure out what is happening so that we can figure out what we want to do about it. What is the resolution? What is the solution here? It's interesting to me that I really think that this is supposed to be a tree in this deck, but it's coming through to me as more of kind of an upside down explosive with the mushroom cloud coming up, a reversed explosive, which basically, this actually talks about a lot of us Scorpios are really thinking about some of the things that are going on in different places of the world. It started off with Ukraine. Now we've got a bunch of places that are basically like tinderboxes. And I think a lot of us Scorpios are trying to figure out, okay, what on earth happened and how can we bring peace? What can we do? I think we're looking at what can we do as individuals to bring peace back into the world, whether that's praying or whether that's creating things to send for humanitarian aid or whatever that might happen to be. I think we are looking for how can we bring some peace and comfort here. With the Empress card in reverse, what's going on right now is exactly the opposite of what we would like to have manifest. And so same thing as always with the Empress card in reverse. This is our reminder that if we whatever we focus on is what we got. So the more we focus on the things that we don't want, the more we bring those closer to us. So it's always that reminder to focus on those things that we do want. Focus on the solution. Focus on how we want things to end up to bring that in. Okay? All right, so that's for Scorpios. Yep, okay. Next up, let's look at Sagittarius. All right, now Sagittarius, you guys have the Empress coming up along with the Five of Cups. Empress with the Five of Cups. What do we have? What do we have? All right, so the Empress is a nice, strong energy. Whenever you have something like that show up, it's going to sort of outshine, if you will, any other card that shows up next to it, just because it is that fortuitous. So with the Empress showing up, this tells me that Sagittarius, you guys have some things that you are manifesting. And you are manifesting them with the Empress. Those things that you think are beautiful and that you value, that are important to you, you're manifesting those things. Okay? Now, with the Five of Cups, that says there have been some disappointments in this manifestation. It hasn't worked out exactly the way you wanted it to, or exactly on the timeline that you wanted it to. But that Empress being there really still says to me that that's okay. The work still continues. You're still manifesting those things that you want and you need in your life. So it's acknowledging, yes, there's been disappointments, but I don't think that's taken you off of track. I think that you're not letting the disappointments distract you. You're keeping in mind exactly what it is that you want to reach. And you're continuing to move forward without letting the disappointments hold you down or hold you back. You're acknowledging them, but you're not dwelling on them. Okay? And that's for Sag. Next we have Capricorn. So Capricorns, you guys have the Five of Cups showing up in reverse, the back side of it, and the Queen of Pentacles showing up in reverse. Wow. This is really interesting. I'm not sure which side of this scenario you're on right now. Let me look. So Capricorns, you have a situation where somebody in your life has been trying to help you get a leg up or get a foothold with something. And they've been trying to help you possibly with finances, but definitely with encouragement and energy. Maybe they've been putting in time and energy on whatever this is to help you to move forward. And they're feeling like what they're doing isn't really all that helpful after all. So now we see them deciding that since it isn't that helpful after all, they're just going to stop. Okay, excuse me. Now with this Five of Cups coming up in reverse, I feel like this is you, and I feel like when this person stops, you've sort of got your back turned towards that. You're basically saying, that's okay, I didn't need your help anyway. I have other ways of doing things. And you're coming into a place where you are learning to be more independent. But there is kind of this, a little bit of a sour grapes type of taste here, where I think that you're not really, underneath it all, I don't think you're really happy about this person not helping you anymore. But at the same time, I think you're recognizing, you know what, I can do this on my own if I just decide to. And really underneath it all, I do think there's some appreciation for this person who is trying to help you, but I think you're finding it really hard to show that appreciation now that they've cut that help off. And we're not really sure how polite they were about doing that. They might not have been too polite with it. Okay? So somebody who has been helping has decided not to help anymore. You're realizing that's kind of okay because I can do it by myself, and maybe it's actually better that I do this by myself. You really do appreciate the help that you got originally, but it's a sticky situation, so it's hard to say that now that things have transpired, or at least by the end of today. Okay, so who was that? That was Capricorn. All right, looking at Aquarius. What do we have here? The back of the Queen of Pentacles, or that side of the Queen of Pentacles, to the Tower in reverse. Okay, guys, you're just going to have to forgive me on this one because the only message that I'm really pulling is more of a really specific one, and maybe once I talk this and get this out of my system, then maybe I can pull a more general one for the general viewers. But when I am looking at this, there's so much imagery here that basically, so where we see this talks about things that are historic, and that were the foundation of something being ruined, okay? And the back of this throne is something that is very well fortified. Like, this is actually made of stone, where we see the wands throne made out of sticks that are all woven together, you know, a little heavier than wicker, but still, this seems to me much more sturdy and defensive type of thing. And this basically, for me, what I can't get past here and what I have to spit out, so maybe I can get past it. I feel like this is talking about Ukraine, because Ukraine, if you look at their chart, they have an Aquarius sun. Zelensky, their president, also has an Aquarius sun. I think this is talking about the ruin and the desecration that has happened already in Ukraine with this column, this pillar being like this. We still have the rabbit here, which talks about fertility, productivity. There's still people, even in among those ruins, who are still alive and well and have hopes for a good future. This, to me, this throne talks about that they are fortifying. They are getting ready because of those hopes and expectations of a good future. They are getting ready for what's happening over here, which what's happening over here is the tower in reverse, which means somebody has had a setback. Wonder who that could be. And now they are kind of regrouping and getting ready to come back and basically try to cause more tower situations for Ukraine. So this is really talking about the idea that there's somebody trying to come back stronger than they were, and Ukraine fortifying for that and getting ready for that in spite of all the death and all the destruction that has already happened over there. Let's see, now that I've got that out of my system. For those of you who don't know, whenever you're a psychic, when you get a message, if you don't speak that message, it kind of gets stuck in you and it kind of blocks off new messages coming out. It holds them back. It chokes them back. So until you can get that message out, you can't get any other messages. So now that that's out, let's see if I can get the message that I normally try to go to just for the average viewer on these videos. So Aquarius, we do see you with your back to a situation, and really I don't think you have any intentions of looking at this situation that is in your past. That's why your back is to it, where somebody did they did a lot of damage to you, whether that was financial damage, which it very well could be with this card, or whether that was damage to your outlook on the world, damage emotionally. So you've got your back to somebody who basically is trying to, because I think they know they created a tower moment between you and them. They're trying to come back and they're trying to basically rebuild with you. And they are wanting something that is better, but you're denying that. You're not even giving them the time of day. You know, so if this is a friendship, or if this was a romantic thing, or even a family relationship where somebody really did something that shook you up, this is, and I don't mean in a little way, I don't see you being open to the idea of interacting with them again, even if they do make things better. You're just not going to be interacting with them again today. Okay, so that was for Aquarians. Next, let's look at Pisces. All right, so Pisces, you guys have the Tower card showing up, and it's interesting that it shows up with the Five of Coins in reverse right next to it, because it's like there's almost immediate relief to this. So with this Tower card showing up, this shows something that you considered safe and secure, that you thought was going to last indefinitely, basically taking a sudden hit and no longer being in your sphere of influence, or no longer being in your experience anymore. Okay? So when we've got something that made us feel secure just disappearing suddenly, then it's really the beginning of the story, because it's total eclipse energy. It's eclipsing out something that no longer is actually helpful to you, whether you realize it or not, and allowing space for something better to come in. And with this Five of Pentacles in reverse, it looks like automatically, whenever this thing gets eclipsed out, this is actually allowing you to spend more time with your network, your people that you care about and that are important to you. And it's also something that, even though it feels like some of your security is gone, it does also ease your financial situation a little bit too, which is interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that actually plays out. All right, so that was an interesting experiment, guys. Thanks for hanging in there for me with that. I do appreciate it. We'll see how these play out. This should be fun. And yeah, thank you guys for being here and spending some of your time with me. I'm sure this was a little longer than usual, but I hope you all benefited from it. And everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.